Throughout English history, there have been many different executions that shocked and baffled crowds who flocked to witness the judicial killings. Many were drawn to witness horrific executions, such as hanging, drawing and quarterings, and they enjoyed seeing these over quick methods of execution. But one of the most shocking things about English history is that there was, even into the 19th century, a number of teenagers who were taken to places such as Tyburn and who were hanged upon the gallows structure. Some of the most brutal kings of England even allowed child executions. But one man who is considered a tyrant and a man who plunged his country into a civil war was Charles I, and he executed an 8-year-old child. But what was his crime? Today we look at this, and to support our channel, please make sure to subscribe. John Dene, who was born in the year 1620, is considered today the youngest person to ever have been executed in England. Throughout the centuries, many different crimes often led to the death sentence being given out, and during the reign of King Henry VIII, there was a young girl named Alice Glaston who was just 11 years old when she was dragged in front of a crowd in the town of Much Wenlock for her execution. She is considered the youngest girl to be executed, and she was hanged in 1546 for an unknown crime. Some have speculated that she may have been involved in a murder, or that she was in fact guilty of being a witch. However, John Dene's case is not subject to much speculation, and during the reign of King Charles I, the infamous Stuart King of England, Dene found himself being dragged in front of a courtroom. He was accused of setting fire to 2 barns or houses in the town of Windsor. Arson as a crime was incredibly serious centuries ago, and it was considered a very shameful crime against property. Now, the age of criminal responsibility at the time was just 7 years old, meaning that he was criminally liable for his crimes, as John Dene was at the time 8 years old, or at a push he may have been 9. His age was given in the annals of Windsor at 8 or 9 years old, and Judge Mr. Justice Whitelock during the proceedings found evidence of malice, revenge and cunning, and he did not recommend a reprieve for John Dene, despite his very young age. Now, the evidence of John Dene's guilty for the crimes has never been discovered, and some of the details of the case have not been found either. But at the time, inside of King Charles I's England, an execution upon a minor, and especially one as young as 8 or 9, was very rare and was shocking. But Dene was sentenced to death and was executed soon after his trial. At the age of just 8 or 9, in the February of 1629, days after committing the crime of arson, John Dene was dragged in front of the crowd in the centre of Abingdon for his execution on the gallows. The hangman secured the noose around his neck, passed it over the gallows structure, and then lifted Dene off of his feet, choking the life out of the young boy. It's not known what happened to his body after his death. However, John Dene is considered the youngest person to have been executed ever in Britain. His execution showed that notoriety and barbarism at the time, and it showed that the law and order of King Charles I's kingdom knew little boundary and had little mercy, even upon children. Later, King Charles was dragged to the execution scaffold himself, after he plunged the country into a devastating civil war that became the bloodiest conflict on English soil, and he would be regarded as a tyrant. But inside of his kingdom, an 8 or 9-year-old was hanged for arson. Thank you for watching, and to support our channel, please make sure to subscribe. And again, thank you so much for watching.